Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You ain't got no cash. You ain't got no dollar. And stay with that drama. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Yeah, let's just be honest. Let's just be real.
Hey YouTube, it's Kiki, and today I'm going to do a story time about how I almost got kicked out of school, and then I'm going to try to do a pregnancy update. So basically, I was in 11th grade, and I was living in Georgia, and I was living with my mama at the time, and like my 11th grade year, I wasn't really giving a damn about what I did, what happened, my grades, nothing like that. And so every once in a while I would skip class, like maybe 2, and we had 8 classes in all, but I would skip like 2 of them, like the ones that I hated the most. And so I had like a group of friends that I would skip with, and instead of like leaving school, skipping and leaving school, like we would skip and go to like lunches. I know this sounds crazy, but we had 5 lunches because it was so many kids in the school, so they split the lunches up, and we had 5 lunches. And it was certain type of way that they did the lunches that everybody wasn't able to be in the same lunch with their friends. And so I had a lunch that I really didn't like because it wasn't really nobody in there that I talked to. So most of my friends had different lunches, so I would skip and I would go to their lunch. And like I had got caught a couple times, but it wasn't nothing major to where I got disciplined or nothing. It was just like, go back to class, or they would ask you what class you in, and then they would tell you to get there, and they would tell you what would happen if they seen you again. So I really wasn't caring. I just made sure I was very cautious when I went back in there. So I was still doing this on a daily, skipping a few classes. Then eventually I started skipping all of my classes. And some of y'all might be like, well, that's kind of stupid. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you just not go to school? But I had no choice but to go to school because of my mama. My mama was making me go to school. But I didn't like school. I skipped all my classes. And that's just something that I did on a regular day. So my mama had ended up telling me when I got out of school one day that she had got phone calls about me not going to school, which I really was at school, but because I didn't go to class, none of my classes, they thought that I wasn't at school. Or either she would tell me that she got calls about me not being late to class. So I'm like, I am going to school. What are you talking about? Like, I'm in the schoolhouse, honey. Like, I'm going to school. So I'm just like, okay. And she was like, well, let me find out you ain't going to school. And she was telling me like what she was going to do or whatever. So I'm sitting here like, ain't no way I'm finna get in trouble for that, because you're going to go up there and they're going to tell you that I'm in school. I'm just not going to all my classes. And what you going to do then? Because at least I'm there. And so I just let it go. I guess my mama let it go. My mama never went up there to check and see if I was going to school or not. And so I kept doing what I was doing. Like, I just didn't care because I just didn't have a reason to stop. Like, I felt like I wasn't going to get caught. So my mama had told me that she was getting ready to go to Africa, and it was gonna be like a month and a half or 2 months before she get back. So I'm thinking like, At first I'm thinking in my head like, my mama finna leave me at home. I'm finna be at the house by myself, and ain't nobody finna be able to tell me shit. But then I still had that thought in my head like, my mama is not finna leave me at home by myself for 2 months. So I had kind of like, my excitement had got kind of calmed down a little bit. And then she was like, well, yeah, I'm getting a sitter. But she told me that the sitter wasn't really for me. It was for my little brother because he was 7 at the time. And he was kind of like, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good either. And he was in elementary school and I was in high school. So high school go to school before elementary, so it wasn't gonna be nobody at home to get him on the bus. And so she kind of needed somebody to get him up, get him ready, and get him on the bus. And it wasn't gonna be me because I was at school. And so she was telling me how she was gonna look for a sitter, and then she was gonna... Okay, sorry, my phone had lost storage. But so fast forward, we ended up meeting this sitter, and I didn't really think that it would go well because the simple fact that she was so young. She looked like she was, when I first met her, I was like, she looked like she's my age. Like, what are you doing? And so come to find out, she kind of was around in her teens. And so she never really was attentive as she should have been. And my little brother daddy ended up coming to get him because in fact he wasn't comfortable with him being there and my mama not there. So he came and got him. So I'm like, alright. Now I'm officially at home by myself. And so I'm like, I mean, it ain't really much that I could say or do and get in trouble. So the sitter basically just stopped coming to our house. After she dropped my mama off, she just stopped coming to our house because my brother wasn't there. And that was the whole main point of why she was there, was because my brother was there. And so she had no point of coming. And she only came to our house twice out of the whole 2 months that my mama was gone. And that was only so she can wash clothes. And the second time when she came was because I had asked her to come and take me and my friends to the movies. So I had a friend named Kiana. And I had told her about how my mama was gone. And I was just at the crib by myself. And so Kiana was like, well, shit, I can come spend the night at your house. Or you can come spend the night at my house. So I was like, that's fine. It don't matter. So she came and spent the night at my house that Friday. And then from there on out, she was there every weekend, and like we would go to school from each other's houses. And so we started skipping more, and then eventually we started leaving school, walking to my house because it was a walking distance. Then we started just not going at all. Like she would be in my house and we would just wake up and not go, or I'd be at her house and we would wake up and walk to my house. And so it's just like our attendance and our grades started getting bad, and like administrators and people at school started to notice that we weren't really coming. Like they would be shocked when we showed up at school. So Kiana, I don't know if her mama started to like get calls or whatever, but Kiana had finally started going back to school. Like she had started going to school because we had kind of quit going to school, and we weren't really going to school often. We would go like every once in a while. And so like Kiana wasn't really going to school. And sorry. So she had started going to school. And then I just wasn't giving a damn because I'm like, I can't get in trouble. I can't call my mama because guess what? My mama's in Africa and her phone doesn't work. So I really didn't care. And so I just didn't go to school. Like I just like, okay, that's all. You can do that. You can go to school. That's all you. So fast forward, my mama eventually came home. Mind you, the babysitter was never at our house. I never told my mama that though, because I never knew if my mama would go back out of town and I would want that babysitter back because she was cool and didn't give a damn what I did. So I didn't tell my mama that she was doing all of this. And to this day, my mama still doesn't know. And so, my mama came back, and I was at school one day. Well, let's rewind. I had decided to go to school one day, and I was in my 3rd block, and my teacher was like, "You're not on my roster no more." And I'm saying, like, how the hell am I not on your roster, and I've been in your class since August? So I asked him, could I go to the office? I went to the office, and I was talking to the office lady, and she told me who I needed to talk to. But the lady that I needed to talk to was not in the office at the time. She was somewhere in the cafeteria or around the school, because usually she's in the cafeteria. So I walked around, kind of looked for her. And then I had, by this time my mama was back. So I had ended up texting my mama before the teacher ever told me that I wasn't on his roster. I had ended up texting my mama and told her to bring me some clothes because something had happened. It was like an accident or something had happened, and I needed some more clothes. So I had called her and I told her, and she was like, okay, she gonna come up there. And so he had told me that, and I went to the office, and the lady wasn't in there. So I was looking for her, and then I had forgot that I had told my mama to come to the school. So by this time, it had been a minute since I had been walking around. So I went back in the office to see if she was there, see if the lady was there. And I promise y'all, when I walked in that office, I walked in that lady's office, as soon as I turned that corner, my heart fell through my asshole. Do you hear me? Because I thought my life was over. I was like, damn, today is the day. I'm finna die. Like, I'm just finna fucking die. Like, I'm not finna survive. Because I'm sitting here like, she finna find out everything me and Kiana been doing, everywhere me and Kiana been going. Because I promise y'all, me and Kiana had been going and doing everything. Everybody was at my house. Everybody came to my crib. We went to everywhere. And so I was like, oh my God, like, I'm about to get in so much trouble, dude. And so my mama sat there, and when I walked in the office, I was just sitting there, and I was like, and I'm like, okay, can I have my clothes? And she just looked at me, and she wasn't saying nothing. She was just like, and I was like, and the office lady was like, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? And so the administrative lady was like, her name was Miss Mosney. So she was like, were you aware that you're not in the system anymore? And I was like, in the system? What the hell you mean? Like, I've been here since August. There's no fucking way in the fuck I should not be in that system. Like, my name should be the first one on the roll. You hear me? And so my mom was like, so apparently you've been skipping school. And I was like, huh? I ain't been skipping no school. I've been coming to school. I've been skipping some classes though. And so I was like, fuck, I'm in trouble. So by this time, when I had came back to school and started coming back and attending school, because I really started going back to school because I knew eventually my mama was finna come home soon. So I started going back to school, trying to get in the kind of catching up to what I had missed. So I had wrote some sick notes, and I told them that I had the flu. Then a couple other times I wrote some notes and said I was just sick. Then I just was writing random ass notes, and I was signing my mama's name. So I did not know that when you put in a note in the school, they can go back in the system and find a note and find exactly what you said. Like, they don't never throw them notes away. So Miss Monty was like, yeah, you've been skipping school and you wrote some notes. And she was reading the notes, and my mom was like, I didn't say that. I didn't sign that. And I was like, fuck. Like, I'm getting deeper and deeper and deeper in shit. Like, today is not the day for me. And so I'm like, I'm just looking. I'm not even agreeing to nothing I did. I'm not saying anything. I'm just sitting there. And so Miss Monty was like, and your grades. And she was telling my mama my grades and showing us. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God. Like, now I'm in really big trouble, because my grades were like, one of my classes was like a 10, then I had like a 50 something, then I had a 60. Like, my grades was like in the teens, like 16, 17, 18, that type of shit. So I'm like, damn, like, my mom is about to kick my ass in the office. So my mom just looked at me and she was like, so where was you at? What was you doing? And I'm sitting here like, hell, I was at home. And she was like, so you didn't feel like it was important for you to come to school? And I'm sitting here like, yeah, I knew it was important, but I just didn't want to come. And so Miss Mozzie was like, well, I see like all your previous years and your previous semester, because by this time it was second semester and we only had 2 weeks left in school. No, we only had a couple weeks left in school, but no, yeah, we had a couple weeks left in school. Like, it wasn't even enough for me to bring my grades up. That's how short of a time we had in school. And so my mama just looking at me, and she was like, so I felt you don't think that school is important? And she was just going on and on and on about how I was just made a dumbass decision. And Miss Mozzie was talking about how I had always had good grades, even the first semester. And so she was like, so right now the decision is all on you whether you want to be back in school or not. Because I wasn't even in the system. Like, I wasn't in the school system, and my name was nowhere to be found. Like, I wasn't even a student. And so she was like, I can put you back in, but it's your decision whether you want to be back in or not. And when you do get back in, it's your decision on whether you're going to do right and you're going to actually try to get your grades up. She said, now, I don't think you can get your grades up in time enough before the school end, so you're probably going to have to make up some classes, or you're probably going to fail a grade. So I'm sitting here looking at her like, no ma'am, ain't no way I'm finna fail a grade. I might have to make up some classes, but bitch, I am not failing a grade. And my mama just looking like, so do you want to be back in school? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm crying. By this time I'm just crying. I'm crying because I already know, like, damn, like, everybody's on my ass at this point. And then at this time my grandma was at my house, and so my grandma was wondering, like, already wondering why my mama was at the school. And so I was sitting here like, damn, she gonna tell my grandma finna be on my ass too. Like, it's just, shit is not gonna get good for me from this point on. So I was like, yeah, I want to be back in school, and yeah, I'm gonna do better, and I'm gonna try to get my grades up. So when I got home, my mama left the school. She left the clothes there. And when I got home, my mama was not fucking with me. She was not talking to me. She told my grandma everything. My grandma was going off. My grandma told me how dumb of a decision I had made and all of that. So by this time, I'm scared. I'm like, damn, like, I'm probably not finna pass this grade. Like, it's no way that I can pass this grade. So I just, like, I started kicking the fuck out of the damn work. Like, I started doing work all day. Like, I did not skip class. I didn't talk to nobody in class. I didn't look at nobody in class. Like, I wasn't doing nothing but work. Like, it was kicking my ass, but I did my work. And I was asking my teachers for extra credit and all of that. And guess what? By the end of the goddamn year, the end of the couple of weeks that we had left, your bitch had her grades up. And she only failed, I think, 1 or 2 classes. And that was simple because I ended up moving to Tennessee and I didn't even need the classes. So it didn't matter to me. So my credit still added up. And as far as my friend, she never did get kicked out of the system. I don't know how, because we missed about the same amount of days. She kind of went to school more than me, but we still missed a lot of days in all total. So I don't see how she didn't get kicked out. But yeah, that's my story about how I got kicked out of school. And now I'm going to do pregnancy updates. So basically, I am currently 30 weeks pregnant and I am ready to fucking have the baby. So I'm not really having any symptoms now besides headaches, and I'm really tired. And that's about it. And my baby just moving. She moved all the time, but it seemed like she only moved during the night, so it's kind of hard for me to sleep. But she doing a lot of moving, and I'm not really having any symptoms, but I'm feeling great besides the tiredness. And I'm not really showing, but I guess I'm getting there. I'm probably not gonna show that much, but I'm getting there. And I am having a girl. And yeah, I'm basically ready to get this child out of me. and I am due November 15th, and it ain't coming fast enough. But I'm going to show y'all how my stomach look, even though it's not really big at all. And damn, I can't even get up. Yeah, so this is basically how it looks from this side. Then this is how it looks from the front. I have stretch marks, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it because it's just no point anymore. Then this is how it looks from this side, and this is from the front again. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. And oh yeah, I'm trying to come up with a prank to do on my man's Mr. Allen, because he seems to think that he is just the king of all jokes, and he thinks everything is so funny. So I feel like I should come up with it. Well, I need help coming up with a good prank for him, not something that's too harsh or just so really mean, but I need a good prank. So I need some ideas. Please comment and let me know, and stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to be doing more pregnancy updates, and then I'm going to be doing more story times, and then I'm going to start doing like tutorials, like makeup tutorials, like my eyebrows. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.